Welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, with my other hosts, Damon and Jaquari Armstrong, my brothers. How
Hello,
y'all
people.
doing today, bro?
All right, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, no complaints, man.
Quite well, brother. Quite well.
Today is part three because we think this is a serious, very important subject to really talk about. This is part three of violence in our community, what our perspective is, what our guest perspectives are. Tonight, we're going to have some young ladies on to get their perspective. They're mothers, they work in the community. Um, uh, we're going to have Monica Crawford on and Alberta Majors. It's one thing about it is, the only drawback of having it on a Friday is people coming home from work. You know what I mean? So these young ladies, they'll be with us momentarily, and we're going to get the show rolling. Um, Let me do some housekeeping. So we have we have we have been doing this for 2 years, and I tell you, it's been a joy for me. You know what I mean? And what I like you two to do is not for too long. Just speak on what your 2 year journey has been for you. I'll be right back.
What do you say?
He wanted to speak on this journey, man. We've been on, man, for the last 2 years.
Yeah, man. I've been, I've been. I don't want to say torn, man, but shit. I expected us to be like flush with cash by now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And as a matter of fact, I'm goddamn quite offended that we ain't. I mean, shit. We work hard, man. I told y'all, man, a year ago, man. It's the second job for me. Lately, like our Thursday meetings or whatever, I've been missing them, because of like work obligations, man. But shit, we put in hours a week on this thing, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
I think for me, man, I just like the opportunities to vibe with my brothers, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And for me, that's been very meaningful, man. It means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And hey, hopefully, sometime soon, people appreciate commentary, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not discouraged or nothing like that. I'm actually optimistic, to be honest with you. I done got into my groove now.
Mm-hmm. I was just joking, man. I love this shit, man. I've been working on the theme song, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to hear it? You want to hear it?
Go ahead, man. Let me hear it.
Man, my brother's got a podcast. Strong podcast. God damn it. That's the theme song.
That's it?
Yeah.
Hey, I can work with that.
What more do we need?
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
Monica, how you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right. You young ladies got perfect timing. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
The young ladies we have on today is, as I said earlier, is Monica Crawford and Alberta Majors. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Welcome to you. Welcome back, Sister
Thank you.
Bell.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Damon and Jaquari had talked about that day previous why I had to come and find you, Alberta, and make sure you get on. But tell us about your day, Monica. Tell us what kind of day you had today.
Today, I was being Molly Made today. I mean, baseboards, mopping the floors. I had a busy day, but it needed to happen. We have my husband has about I think 8 or 9 aunts that are living, and we're having them next weekend for a good cookout, and trying to get the place spick and span because
Yeah.
none of them have been to the new house, so
So,
we were in here trying to get it right.
Yeah.
so let me just say this.
What?
You said spick and span,
Well, I mean,
and look, spick and span and new in the same sentence. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused.
okay, it's what do you mean?
No, I get it. I get it. I get it. I mean,
I'm
you got the
I'm
aunties
messing
coming
with
and
you.
everything.
It's a new
So
house, but
so
that
so
don't
that's
stop dirt,
yeah,
dust, and anything else from collecting. So,
yeah.
you
Look,
know,
So you got the aunties coming. So once y'all clean the room, then
yeah,
it's a week out. So once y'all clean the room, can't nobody go back in that room till the aunties leave, right? I understand. I
yeah,
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
yeah.
I understand.
Um,
Hey,
Alberta, how was your day today?
there you go. That's it, right there. We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you though. You
But she said some profound stuff too. Man.
Yeah.
I know. Look, you look like we still can't hear you. That's the one thing that I love about live, man. You run into situations and
Hmm.
take your time. You good?
Yeah. I hope this is the worst part of your day, Alberta.
Yeah, yeah. Look, you can hear us though.
Yeah. You can hear us?
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes. Well,
All
you
right,
had
now
it turned down.
it was on the phone.
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
All right. Well, look.
Shaw, let me say this. The only reason I was doing what I do today is I manage dental offices, and we only work 4 days a week. So every Friday is my clean day and my, you know, catch up on what I couldn't do during the weekday.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
good. All right, are we good? Okay.
No,
Stop it.
no. I'm not laughing at you. And look,
Yes, you are.
everybody, well, the majority of the people that we have on, we always run into a little mechanical difficulty. All right, so let's try again, Alberta. How was your day today?
Nice and hectic, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, yes indeedy. Yes indeedy.
Yeah, I did a half a day of work. I had an appointment that was canceled last minute. Found something to
Uh-oh.
do. Not to
Okay.
mention any names. That was running late because of other people, but I'm here now.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You got a good attitude because you said nice and hectic in the same sentence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Monica is a friend to the show. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, Alberta?
Okay.
As much as you want to volunteer, we would look. This not 60 minutes or 2020.
I mean, I have 2 children from Philly, North Philly, at that. Work for the state. Um,
What do you do
divorced,
for what do you do for the state?
a caseworker, a welfare caseworker.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Okay.
So your day is hectic. It was hectic then, huh?
I've been
Yeah.
doing it since 2000, July 2001.
Okay.
I'm waiting to retire with medical
Amen.
benefits.
Amen.
All that. Yeah.
See, everything you're supposed to have. Huh?
Yes,
I don't have
indeed.
everything I'm supposed to have. I have everything that I need.
There you go. Yeah.
Um, Today I told everybody prior to you guys coming on. Today is part 3 of violence in our community,
Hmm.
and we wanted to make sure that we had a woman's point of view because you know we've had men on, young and old, and we talk about, we're always into the macho, the bravado and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we need another point of view of things.
I'm sorry, Keith. I'm quite sensitive, brother.
You're a sensitive human being, right?
Yeah, I'm an artist.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, artists are sensitive.
Mhm.
Most talented people are sensitive though. That,
No, I'm not gonna say talented, man. That's like giving yourself a nickname. You can't do that.
okay, well, before we go forward further, because what we're going to do is I'm going to do some housekeeping, and then I'm going to go into my usual first segment of the day. Uh, this is Strong Perspective Podcast, and we have a YouTube channel by the same name, Strong Perspective Podcast. And what we would do, we would definitely appreciate it if you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to it, because what we try to do is promote conversations amongst everyday people, because everyday people really and truly drive and make the world go around. I believe that wholeheartedly. Some celebrities have great conversation and common sense, but they're celebrities for a reason. And I'm not talking about the pundits, the political guys, or the pastors, or anybody like that. But I'm talking about what we get saturated with every day, and that's the sports stars, the rap stars, the singers, and all these others. We know every part of their lives, and we care who they dating, how they dating, and when they dating, and the whole nine. And we get over. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with it because it don't matter to me. So what we do is promote everyday conversation with people. We promote conversation, because conversation is not a lost art. It's just being overwhelmed by quote unquote the fluff. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So my segment, Big Dog's Perspective, I want you to speak on something that I saw today. It was this young sister, and she was just talking about, I really and truly didn't know everything she was talking about, but what she said was, and it hit me profoundly. She said, you are born looking like your father, but when you die, you look like your decision.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit me like a ton of bricks,
Yeah.
because that struck so true. Our decisions shape who we are,
Absolutely.
whether they are unselfish or selfish decisions. They shape what course we're going to be taking in our lives. They shape everything what we're about, and it takes a toll on our body, good and bad. So I really wanted to speak on that particular quote, because what I tried to do as a human being would be the very best person I could be. Even though, just like everybody else, I had my dark side. I told my brother today, Jaquari, I said, I really and truly believe in telling the truth. And I told him, as a matter of fact, I've been able to at least achieve 92% of truth telling. And I use the other 8% strategically, so I don't get caught out there on some dumb shit. You feel what I'm saying? Because sometimes you are too truthful.
Mm-hmm.
Because really and truly, to tell the truth, unless somebody's attacking you, should not be used as a weapon to offend, unless it's needed. That's just my opinion. Okay, that's big dog perspective. And like I said, it's short and sweet, but that hit me though. That was deep. All right, guys, I want to, and I told Damon about this. I want to talk to the ladies about one of the subjects we talked about last night. It was the young lady and her son in Chicago. Well, I found out some more information.
Okay.
When you guys said to when you said gave your opinion about when we all believe that she actually texted him,
If she, yes. Hmm.
but she didn't.
Okay.
She never did
Okay.
because I saw something today. There's always information out there toward
Hmm.
the truth. I saw something today. I sent it to you guys.
Hmm.
Matter of fact, where when she's sitting up there having this confrontation with the deceased man, right?
Right.
She saw her son standing in the
In the
doorway.
door, yeah.
She said,
Get
"Go
back in the
back to
car.
the car." She said, "Go back to the car." So there's no time in which you think the way it's transpired and the way when the video started, you know, she didn't text anybody, she didn't call anybody. So it changed my opinion about it. And look, I'm not trying to defend and say, oh, she's right, she's this, she's that. Somebody lost their life. And then somebody else's life has been shaped permanently. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is I like to get the whole truth
Mm-hmm.
so I can just move on. I hate half truths because our community have been lied to and been fed half truths my 58 years of my life. So I can't stand it. So I just wanted to get that out there, ladies, because we had a spirited debate about it. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
wasn't disagreeing with you guys,
Hmm.
Okay.
but just wanted to make sure the complete and total uh, information was out there.
All right.
Okay.
Anybody got anything to say? Like,
Did y'all argue about that?
uh, was it an argument, ladies? Damon, was it an argument? Or
Yeah.
was it we just
It was a discussion, man. It wasn't an argument.
okay?
You know.
The reason
I
why
wanted
I
to make
asked,
sure. But
yeah,
go ahead, Jacquard.
the reason why I asked was because that's some classic last word bullshit right there, Keith.
What's that?
Yeah. You want to get the last word in, you got it. I thought that was gonna be funny when I said it, man. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I just fucked up the whole mood of the show. I'm sorry. I'm leaving.
no, I didn't understand that. That's why you got. I have a puzzled look on my face.
Nah,
I didn't understand what you meant.
Nah, but I mean, that whole situation was, man, to me, in a nutshell, it's my brother Damon has said it 1,000 times, man. It's possible to do several things at one time. It was a perfect storm of just angst and stress and and it was a testament, man, to things that happen in the city of Chicago, man. It's not a very large area that those things happen in. That's why
That's
when
true.
the rapper FGB Duck got killed on the Miracle Mile, that was unprecedented, man. It was in the middle of daylight.
Mhm.
On what's got to be like the equivalent to doggone Rodeo Drive in California. I mean, I don't know if it is, but I mean that's where when people go to Chicago, that's where they go to shop and to spend a lot of money.
Okay.
So that's the atmosphere. That's the atmosphere that young boy is living in every day, and it's just him and his mama, right?
Yep.
Hey man, what else was he supposed to do?
And it was funny. We're speaking on violence today. That's kind of why I brought it up. We just had a short discussion yesterday. And let me just get your opinion about it.
Well, what I want to say is, man, they only showed you certain clips, certain parts of it, man. But
Mhm.
did she spit on him? Did she hit him first? Did she do anything to provoke it other than speaking words to the man? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
What would I'm just speaking from my own point of view. I don't hit women, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll walk away. You know what I'm saying? Unless they pull a knife on me or something, I got to really, survive the situation. But I didn't see any reason for why that brother punched her in the face like that. You know, and when it happened, and I saw that brother leaving, that's what bothered me more than anything. You know.
But hey, look, everybody ain't you, bro. Everybody ain't you. You know what I
I
mean?
know that, man.
Man, did you see that old man limp out the way?
Mhm.
Hey, look,
He
look.
he
You
he
you
le- he, he limped out the way.
You know
you
what I
hold
told? You know
you
what I
hold
told?
the old man
Yeah, I'm
accountable,
holding that
man.
old man to the point where he just said, "Young brother, you wrong, man. All right, man. I'll see y'all later." I'm with that.
Man, look, he probably just drawn his Social Security. He's like, shit, these young boys is killing people out here nowadays.
Yep.
I'm getting the hell out of here. And that's what
Yep.
he did.
Hey,
Exactly.
and I think about it, and this happened accidentally. We're speaking on violence in our community, and we have some questions and topic that we're going to really approach, right? But this situation that we're talking about right now, and then I want all your opinions, all four of your opinions on it. This situation we're talking about right now, we are somewhat saying is justified.
I don't want to put a handle on it, man. It's tragic all around.
No, no,
You know,
no. I
some
understand that. I
sometimes, man,
understand that. I
doesn't
understand that.
the story doesn't have to have a singular point, to teach. It really doesn't, man. So I'm not even gonna try to put it in that box.
Okay. Alberta, what do you think?
I'm with your brother. It happened, you know. That baby, because that's what he was. He may be scarred for life for that. He took a body. He took someone. He killed someone. I understand he was protecting his mother, but um, he may be scarred for life for that. You know. So
Monica?
I think. Can you hear me?
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. He may be scarred for life, but I've heard. I haven't been around people, but when this child gets older, depending on if he's still in that environment, it may be props for him.
Mhm.
It's sad that
Mhm.
that would be the case, but there's too many videos I've seen of, their guys just bragging about the fact that they killed somebody. I think it's going to scar him, and hopefully his mother will do right by him and
Seek
possibly
help.
get him counseling or
Mhm.
something, because that's tough. I know that's got to be tough for a
It's
young
it's
child.
it's gonna scar mom too again because
Yeah,
she gonna be by herself forever.
yeah.
Don't tell me y'all ain't thought about that.
I did it. I didn't think about
Look,
that.
look, what's your opinion? Wow. Wow. Okay.
I
You
said it.
know,
Fuck it. Yeah.
it's funny because I'm sitting here thinking the same thing. Well, how's she gonna get a man?
Oh,
No, real talk, man. Here's
Oh,
what the thing
change
is
her
for me.
name. Change her name.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Here,
I know what she look like. I know what she look like.
Plastic
And I
surgery.
and I'm married, but
And
we
there's probably
somewhere.
a man out there that's loving her right now and
Yeah,
giving her props for raising her son the way she. Well, I'm not
yeah.
gonna say raising her son, but giving the mother and the son props right now.
Yeah.
This
and
is the
every
world
time
we living in.
And every time that man and the boy's mother get in the fight, he gonna be like, "Hey, young brother, I don't mean no harm, man." But
Yeah, no disrespect, man. No disrespect, but you know your mama got a mouth.
I'm not messing with y'all. Y'all
Young,
killing me.
no,
Hey,
young boy,
this,
young
this,
boy walking around the house, sucking his teeth. How about?
go ahead, go ahead, and kick your feet up on that table I just bought, young brother. That's all right,
Yeah.
that's your spot.
You always got to hold with us.
Well, you gonna tell him to move out, baby.
yeah,
Listen,
no.
man. You know, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. For me, when that brother punched that sister in the face, I was so enraged, man. I was so enraged because for me, I'm like, I would never hit no woman like that unless my life was in jeopardy, man. You feel what I'm saying? That was crazy to me. So my first reaction was, you know, even though there was a black man, may you rest rest in peace. Even though it was a black man who lost his life, I'm like, okay, that young brother showed the example of how we supposed to be without black women, man. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put it with a, and I'm not pandering, man. I would hope if one of my daughters was there and somebody did that to her, somebody would come to her rescue, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not sit around, you know, debating and arguing about whether or not, you know, who was right or wrong. He was wrong because he shouldn't have did that. He shouldn't have punched that woman like that. And then did it twice. You know? If I was there, I don't know if I could have walked away, limping or not. You know, hey, brother, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You talking about living with yourself. Can you imagine being a man, calling yourself a man, and you sit there and you witness something like that? You know what I'm saying? That's difficult to live with.
Not in this day and time.
Well, I'm 57 years old, but so you know,
Not
you know where
now.
I'm coming from.
I understand exactly where you're coming from, but like we were saying yesterday, you can't even say anything to the kids. Kindergarten, first grade, you can't say anything to them. So what are you really gonna say to a grown man that's used to beating on his girlfriends? He set the girlfriend house on fire. That was, well, allegedly. That was, you know, in the news. And the girl was right there protecting him, standing by, you know, his side. So
Well, mate,
sometimes you jump into those situations, especially if it's a couple. Then you have to deal with, if you beat him up too much. Now the girl is jumping on you because you beat up her boyfriend that was beating on her. So you have to sometimes you have to, I guess, weigh the situation. You know.
That's right. That's
But
right.
you also got to be able to recognize jackass love. I mean, you know,
And
Mm-hmm.
jackass love is a real thing.
yeah,
That's a
that's
real thing.
just how they go.
Yeah.
Hey, Jaquari, should I give him a definition or should you give him a definition of jackass love?
Go ahead, sir.
Look at you. You know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to set you up to be funny, but you're on that. I'm a front on you, Keith. No, I'm just fucking with you. No, our father.
I work
Our
alone.
father.
What are you talking about?
Hey man,
you see, that's like heckling, huh?
team up out of there, man. Our father used to always, like, if he saw certain situations like that, he would say, "You know what, son? That's jackass love right there." And jackass love is fighting tooth and nail, and then 20 minutes later, will kill to be back underneath each other. It's the fighting back and forth over and over again just to stay together. The song
Yeah.
"Break Up the Makeup," make up the break up the
The
makeup.
makeup.
Yeah,
But see, we're talking about two different situations. You know what I'm saying? Now, that wasn't his woman.
no,
His woman whose house he tried to burn down the previous night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We can't afford a brother like that, man.
I get
You know what I'm saying?
it. But
And that's just the reality of it for me. I'm just speaking personally.
I'm not trying to. We ain't gonna condemn anybody on this situation,
Right.
Because it's not personal. It's your opinion, and
Right.
your opinion, I agree with you. But you know, we ain't gonna speak ill of the dead. even though their dad is an asshole, just like you said. But let's just, since we're on now, I want you guys to, let's dive into these questions because I'm very curious about your responses. And understand, ladies, we're not looking for answers. We're looking for your perspective. So here we go. First question I'm going to ask you is, take your time with this. Oh, let me acknowledge Keith first. Keith Barnes is a very good friend of mine, an ex-co-worker. And Keith said, you know my track record, Keith. I stumble right into that kind of woman. So, and he and I have had so many conversations about this. And the one thing that Keith could probably say that I've always said to him is how you think about yourself is how much you go through. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. It's just that's how it is.
Right.
So we'll start with you, Alberta. And the question is, and Damon and Jacquari, I'm gonna ask you to chime in on this, but I need y'all to flip it a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, how do you view the violence in our community through the eyes of a black woman? Just take your time before you answer, but
How do I view it?
do it. How do you see it? You see it every day. How do you view?
Um, I think a lot of it was set in place to be this way. When they started taking certain things out of the schools, certain things from the families, um, and like I mentioned yesterday, giving the kids too many rights. So when they set a lot of those things in motion, it was a setup
Okay,
because a
okay.
lot of this is coming
Before
from
you,
home.
Alberta, before you go further, explain what you mean by giving the kids too many rights.
Okay, uh, they would tell them in school, you have the right to call the police on your parents. You have the right to call DHS or CPS. You have the right to, for example, now you have the right to keep that child. Your mother can't make you have an abortion. You have the right. They gave them too many rights, and they took so many things that they needed out of schools. They don't have any social workers, any counselors that they can talk to. A lot of them need someone to talk to. You know, they taught a lot of them how to keep secrets. You don't have to
Mhm.
tell your mother what you're doing. You don't have to tell your father what you're doing. So they
Wow.
they, they taught them and they
Great
trained them to,
point.
to lie and
Mhm.
to take their lie into their house. So if they're telling them that at the age of what, 10 and 11, they were giving out birth control at what age? They were giving birth control out to these kids in what I would call elementary, but they would call junior high. Fifth and sixth grades is no way your child should come home in the sixth grade with condoms that was given to them in school. That's something that a discussion that needs to be had with the parents, and the parents make that decision. So I think a lot of it was basically it was a setup for us, especially the black community,
Okay,
black and brown.
okay.
Hmm.
Monica.
For me, I have seen the violence to me has gotten worse over the years. Um, I don't think the consequence of jail or prison means anything to young people today. Um, it's like a badge of honor for to know that they've gone to jail or prison. I mean, um, the violence is such that you know um, when if you don't feel safe in your home, where you gonna feel safe? They're shooting up neighborhoods, and stray bullets are coming in and getting innocent people.
Okay.
Um, I wish I had a solution. I wish we all could have a solution to it all. But that's how I see it. So
Okay.
I just see that the violence has gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Damon, I'm gonna go to you, but before I go to you, I want to read what's on the screen from Terry White Scott. She's an educator, been an educator for 26 years, I believe. But things escalate too quickly. No problem-solving skills. No desire to negotiate towards a peaceful resolution. And she's speaking toward children.
Mm-hmm.
Like she feels as though that's impacts them.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And we'll go back to that. But Damon,
I
what do
think
you
that
think about the question?
I think when it comes to violence, man, in our community, you have to ask yourself. I mean, and I know it's a bold statement. Some people would rather just go on with their normal lives and try to avoid the traps and all that stuff. But at what point, man, do everybody start being a victim? Because it's gonna come to your doorstep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's unavoidable. It's gonna come to your doorstep. So how you gonna respond to that? And these people that's in your homes talking to your kids, you know, and telling them that they had these rights and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? There are ways to combat that, and the way you combat that is just you hold your child close. You know what I'm saying? When you teaching them a lesson, this is not me being punitive. This is me loving you and telling you this is how you survive this world. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking that game away from you because you not being responsible. Not, you know what I'm saying, for the household or yourself. And try to weigh out the differences so they understand when that person comes in their house and tell them, well, don't listen to your parents. That's infiltration right there. That's a threat. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about those homes where, be they single mothers, single fathers, two parents in a home. I'm talking about people who are actually parents and doing the very best that they can. Because they could come out your house, they could take your come and arrest you and take your child out the house and all that stuff. But at some point, they got to give them back. They're gonna make you jump through hoops to get them back. You know. But did you ask that kid? Well, how did it feel to be away from your family? You know what I'm saying? How did it feel to be with strangers, people who don't love you, people who pretty much took you out of your house? I mean, there are ways you can try to explain that to the child. But guess what? 30, 40, 50 years old, they're going to be defiant anyway. They're going to be that anyway. They're going to question whatever your rules. They're going to do all that. And it's about having a relationship with that child. And I'm just speaking from my own personal point of view. But as far as violence in our community, listen, man. At some point, we as the people got to decide when we're going to stop being victims. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I know that's a bold statement, but it's true. It's true. Because these kids actually recognize marks when you're walking down the street. They know who to attack and who not to. They have some idea unless they're ganged up. But what do? Those kids who choose that life, man, they seek out fear. Who they think is afraid of them. I hope nothing happens to a righteous person who's trying to do the right thing. I hope that doesn't happen, and I pray for them every day. But at some point in time, man, we can't, just say, you know what, we're just going to let things happen until it's our turn. Then we being victimized.
Okay.
You
Jaquari, I need you to answer the question, and then we're going to go into your halftime segment. Okay.
Okay. when it comes to, I mean, I, I really wish it was something that I could say, man, to, maybe not solve the problem, because I don't think that's like a realistic goal to have in a conversation like this, but just to even bring up a new point. I mean, everything's been ran over and recycled 1,000 times, man. Solutions, man. Solutions are never easy, man. We talk about violence from the perspective of young black men and old black men, and now young black ladies. You know, it's obvious that we know that there's an issue, but what are we going to do to solve it? How do we galvanize the whole of the black community to and point them in a direction of making sure we hug our kids before they go to bed and tell them that they're special, and there's other ways to solve problems outside of violence, and there's a certain respect that you give people that you don't know. How do we convey that, on a larger scale? I don't really have anything clever to add to the, you know,
No, they can do.
to the answering of the question or anything like that, man. It's just perplexing to me, man. You hear me stuttering. That's what happens when I don't really have, my ducks in a row. So I'm sorry. That's the best response I could give you, Keith.
Okay.
And that's
Can
just
I,
honest.
can I
Please.
say something on what he said? The
Okay.
one thing that they can do and what they should do, they need to start holding these parents accountable. If you have a 10 and 11 and a 12-year-old child committing a crime, especially 1, 2, 3 in the morning, you as a parent, what are you doing? Where are you that your child at the age of 10 is out there carjacking someone? How do your 11-year-old have a gun in your home and you don't know? You don't go through their room. You don't go through their belongings, their book bags. They need to start holding the parents accountable. And I honestly believe if they start doing that, then it'll put a little dent in it. It will put a little dent. But at this point, no one's being held accountable. The kids, and most of them, they already know, depending on what type of crime they committing, they'll tell you in a minute, oh, I'm max out at the juvenile detention center. Oh, they're not going to try me as an adult. In their mind, they thinking, okay, I can do A, B, and C. They put me in a juvenile detention center. I come out, I guess the records are sealed or whatever because I don't know how it works. But a lot of them, they, like I said, they know too much. These kids, they know. And they're learning a lot of it from the parents or the people that are home with the parents, the parents' significant others. I'm not just going to say the mothers and their boyfriends because it's a lot of the dads that's bringing in women around these kids that they should not, but start holding them accountable. We'll see a change.
Quarry, you ready for your segment?
I am. I am. All right. The name of my segment is called Uncle Spo's Segment. Okay, and here we go. All right. Let me see. Did I ever tell y'all about the time that I broke my tailbone? All right. Now, before you get all pervy on me and shit, this ain't no funniest home video thing or a prison horror story. I was a little old bitty boy at the time, just old enough to play Pop Warner football. Just old enough to play in the Pop Warner Football League, if you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing in I guess I would call it a pickup football game. Long story short, I got hit in the ass by the onlyest dude wearing a football helmet, Chad. Chad. Boy, did I hate that motherfucker. Probably the only person I ever hated. Anyway, that singular event shaped me in a way that nothing else has or since. The pain was so bad that it was perfect. It was absolutely beautiful. So bad that at the time I thought it was a message from God.
Mm.
He said,
Mm.
humble yourself, young man." I guess I was a cocky fifth grader or something. I don't know. I never told that story. I never told that story to strangers before. Quite obviously because it's embarrassing. But even at that tender age, I was still able to find a lesson in it. The lesson was people, not only kids, but people in general are cruel. And if they see you at a low point in your life, they're gonna kick the shit out of you. Because anything that's low to the ground is an easier target.
Mm.
So even though I was a child, I had to learn to pick myself up and go back to school. I had to show up. I had to start developing my resilience. You know, it's a broken tailbone, right? So I didn't shit at that point. I didn't even know the ass had a bone. The doctor told me that, hey, son, look, I can't put a cast on it, but what I can do is I can give you this inflatable donut, and you can take it to school and sit on the donut at school. And I'm thinking, like doctor, like what the fuck? You ain't gonna keep me home, motherfucker. So when you think about this scenario, I'm in the fifth grade. I'm walking around, elementary school, with a blow. I heard it all. I heard it all for
Wow.
6 weeks. I had to sit on that. I had to sit on that thing for 6 weeks. I didn't even have a name no more. They used to call me broke butt. Oh yeah, fucking laugh,
Oh.
fucking laugh.
Listen,
Oh.
listen.
Ladies, my
Oh.
brothers are laughing at me. My brothers,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Come on, bro.
No, but I mean, yeah, it was a testament that no matter how hard and messed up a situation is, you're gonna learn from it. You're either gonna
Mm-hmm.
learn good or you're gonna learn bad. It's up to you to choose between the two, and that's what Uncle Spo said.
As always, my guy.
Hey,
Great
what was the
job.
lesson? Protect your flank, man.
People are cruel, man. You got to keep your eye on everybody because they're going to
Damn
kick
right.
you when you're down.
Hey, everybody can laugh, but Chad.
Yeah.
Hey
Fuck
man,
you, Chad.
I,
No disrespect. No disrespect.
I'd
But
get.
I still hate that motherfucker a little bit.
You know where he at? You know where Chad at?
But now you know what? I think you're preaching now. I don't give a fuck.
oh,
Oh,
I
well, you can't say
apologize.
too
Hey,
much,
look, look.
Susan.
No,
You
no,
apologize
I
now.
no.
apologize. I
Ain't no,
apologize.
hey. No, wait. I ain't never
that
known any. Don't none of us know any preacher who was shit before they became a preacher. They was all
listen,
fucked up.
No, no, no. Hold on. Now,
listen.
in all fairness, now Monica's father is a preacher now. So,
Yeah, he was. He was a preacher. He's
oh, he
deceased
was.
now. But
Okay.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
understand, understand that preachers are human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, got
They
you.
were
I got
children. They weren't
I
children. You know, my
I
daddy
didn't mean
could
to step.
tell some stories about,
Yeah,
before he found Christ. He wasn't perfect. He
I didn't
really
you.
mean to
had
step on
a
that.
he really had a testimony. Put it that way.
No, no. Look, what one preacher told me, the man that baptized me, he said, "Keith, you had to be imperfect to come close to being perfect. So to be a good preacher, man of God, you have to know exactly what it means to be out in that world.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And that helped me to understand a lot of things. But look,
Yeah,
let me do this before.
I ain't mean to step on no toes.
Oh no.
I've been drinking. So
Look at you. Now you gonna make a damn excuse. I'm over here
what?
sounding like Uncle Ruckus. These old monkeys got some.
Yeah.
No, but for real. All serious though. Hey, Ja'Cory, always a great job, man. That was perfect. let me just read what's on the screen, you guys. You know, Keith Barnes said they haven't taught us how to taught the kids how to, I'm adding kids in there, taught the kids how to manage low self-esteem, egos, and trying to fit in with their peers. Kids are afraid of trying, and they hide it. I wanted to read it out loud, even though Keith, you must be drunk too, because you're missing a whole bunch of words, brother. But I think he made a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think our children depend too much on peer pressure and looking good in front of other children
Yep.
and teenagers and
Yes.
young adults?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
because
if I
the
can
only
say,
reason. Go ahead, Juwan.
no, I'm saying if I can say, he said we haven't taught them how to manage their low self esteem, but on the other side of that coin, I don't think we've taught them how to manifest positive self esteem. That's
That's real.
why that's why they wear their self esteem on their feet, or they hang it around their neck. If you got bright shiny things, then you don't need a affable personality.
I mean, just to piggyback off what you're saying is, look, the only reason why I can sit up here and just really and truly be confident in saying and agreeing with what Keith is saying, because at 58, when I was going through my life, the same thing as what I have on the screen, it was with me and my peers. It's never changed. See, sometimes I think the mistake that we make is the fact because somebody's younger and they go through the same thing that we went through is different somehow, but it's not. It's not. It's not different. There's no such thing as the generation gap. You know what it is? You know what the generational gap is for me? Is, in my personal opinion, is people not trying, taking the easier path. Them young folks don't know snap. Them young folks ain't this, right? But really and truly, what you're saying is, I don't want to spend the energy to get to know them.
No.
I don't want to do it. And I'm not talking about individuals, because individually, there are folks out there who really and truly is putting up a concerted effort to be
Yeah.
there. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to as a whole, I think the whole take the quick way out. And that's just my opinion. All right, next question, and we'll start with you, Jaquar, since we're on you, right?
Mhm.
The next question is, should we be alarmed by what looks like an increase in violence in our community? Should we be alarmed by that?
I think, yeah, yeah. If we're not alarmed, then we're dead asleep. I mean, we've our community has never had a solid history of having the opportunity to police itself. And as things get more extreme on our streets, uh, uh, outside factions solutions become more extreme. If you get what I'm saying, uh, as I don't even know the right word. The way as messed up as it might seem, in other ethnic communities like Little Italy or Little China or Chinatown or Koreatown or little a little what have you. They have a sense of community, and we have a sense of community, but they also have a sense of they a sense of justice. They don't necessarily talk to the police like us, but when something happens in those communities, the perpetrator gets dealt with. It happens. Doesn't happen in our community. And if you think, if you need an example, look at all these rappers who are getting arrested for actual crimes and telling on their co-defendants, and then getting out of jail and still make millions of dollars. Now I'm not making a judgment either way. I say call the police. I'm a regular citizen. I'm not a street dude, so as far as handling shit in the street, if it don't if I can't see it from my door, then hey, I'm calling the police. But that's not how our kids think. Our children would rather sit in the classroom with a serial killer than to call the police. Now, to be qualified as a serial killer, you only need to kill 3 people. But trust me, I work with a facility full of them. I don't know if that answered your question or not, man, but that's it.
Okay. Alberta.
Yes, I think it is a concern. Most of for example, these guns and these ghost guns that these kids have, they're more powerful than what the police officers carry. So, if you're a police officer at this date and time, you want to go home to your family. You understand what I'm saying? It's a job. At some point you have to look at it that way. You're not going to continue to run through the fire and try to do what you're supposed to do, and then once you done, handled or took care of the nuisance in the neighborhood with maybe 5 bodies under him, now you have to deal with what? This time he wasn't doing anything. This time he was running away. But what about when he used the Uzi to shoot up the corner, and he's out on probation or parole or on bond or whatever, because they don't have any room in the jail for him, and so now you have a police officer that's at risk of losing his job for doing his job for
who is a criminal.
that's over here. Exactly. So it's like, but one thing I do want to say, and I've been saying this since COVID hit. When I said I believe it was a setup, they gave these kids the money to buy these guns. They allowed these kids 14 and 15, some of them younger than that, to collect their PUA money. And guess what they did with that money? They bought guns and bullets. They sold out of bullets at some point. You couldn't even, the same way people was waiting for furniture and things to fix some houses, you couldn't even find a bullet anywhere or a gun. They used those funds that they gave them. Those kids was bringing in more money than the parents at some point. And what did they buy with them? Guns. There's no way one person or a child should have access or the funds available to buy as many guns as they did. So when I say it's a setup, it's all a setup. And once again, where's it starting? In the home.
I've always thought that. I'm sorry to cut you off, Alberta. I've always thought that karma should be written into the Constitution. I've always thought that. Like you said, your example, Mr. Alberta, if he got 5 bodies and he just gets shot down in the street, then hey, I don't feel bad. Because what people don't realize is that if you're a person, you're a bad guy, but you don't have a gun that day and you get shot 60 times, you fucking deserve it.
Or you had a gun, but you was running away. Yeah, he running away after he just took 6 shots at him. But he was running away. He dropped the gun. He was going to enroll in school next week. He was a good father. He was a good kid.
All that.
And it's like, are you kidding me? Let me see the rap sheet, and then let me see what mommy got to say. You understand what I'm saying? Like, come on. Us as mothers and black mothers, we got to do better with these boys. We really do. They can't be our babies forever. We have to raise them to be men. But a lot of them, they don't have anyone to look up to as a man. They can't even look at the brothers, the uncles, the cousins, the neighbors. We had all of that. Like I said, we had a village. They have nothing right now. Nothing. They don't even have male teachers. Instead of teaching the kids ABCs, they teaching them the other, letters and things. I can't say that too much, but yeah. And it's like, come on, we're teaching these kids this. We're teaching them that. So at some point, I feel like we just lost. We're doomed. It's too much. It's too much right now. I really don't know what we can do other than hold the parents accountable for some of the situations. That's it.
Okay, I want to get back to that, Alberta, as far as holding the parents accountable. So hold on to that one. Damon, we'll go to you. Remember the question?
I'm about to refresh my memory right now, brother. Here is, should we be alarmed? Nothing surprises me, man. You know what I'm saying? Nothing surprises me. People do what they're going to. No, there's not. I would not be surprised. I can't say definitively what a person will not do. And that's just a fact of life. But when should we be alarmed? Absolutely, we should be. But what I want to know, I think the better question is, how many of our kids are those kids who crash out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many of our kids are those kids that crash out? Do you think it's a large percentage of them, or most of them just getting caught up? You understand what I'm saying? Because I believe most of our kids are redeemable. Those ones that got in trouble, those ones that went out there and did crimes or whatever. I think they are redeemable. Just go to the prisons and ask some of them brothers that got life for doing 20 years, and they be like, man, if I could do it over with, I would. Yeah, they got victims, but you know what I'm saying? You learn from that. You understand. First of all, and second of all, everybody is out there, everybody that's out there doing all that bad stuff to people, victimizing people. You know what I'm saying? They wear it like a badge. But when it happens to somebody that they love...
hold on for 1 second, Damon. I'm sorry. Hey, you taking us on a tour of your house, Alberta. You can turn your camera off if you wanted to.
Yeah, just hit the joint.
I'm sorry, Damon. Go ahead.
My point is, everybody, and I've experienced this or heard this 1,000 times. Everybody, yeah, man, charge it to the game until it happens to somebody you love. Then you want it, but who saw what? Ain't nobody gonna speak up. So the people that's victimized, the people getting victimized too. So there's a never-ending cycle that goes along with that. But should we be concerned? What's worse than coming out of slavery, man? You understand what I'm saying?
Slavery was almost 400 years ago, man.
I'm just saying, coming out of slavery, we as a people survived.
Not minimizing it, though. Not minimizing. That ain't what I'm doing. But go ahead, Damon. My fault.
What I'm saying is, we as a people, we survived that, and we built communities. You know what I'm saying? So in my thinking, in my mindset, in my thinking, if we can survive a situation like that, we can damn sure overcome these, the type of things that we're dealing with now. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the optimism in me.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Monica.
Just got to stand up.
Monica.
I think that I know that violence has always been in our community, but I think that the violence has escalated to where you can't turn on the news every day without hearing about violence in our community. I mean, you heard about it before, but I think now of course, we have to go back to social media. The the violence has gotten even more because people want clout. They're gonna put it on, um, guys on Facebook and all the other places waving around guns. It's not guns. I think that they just got in their hand just to show. I think there's the potential for them to use those guns, or if they haven't already. Yeah, I'm very alarmed at the violence and especially the escalation of the violence and um, I guess how it's happening every day, more often. Some in some communities, multiple times during the day. It's very alarming, very disturbing, um, and you can't help but worry about the future for my sons and my grandsons. So, yes, it's very alarming.
Okay.
Key,
I think
key.
what I always tell people. Did you have something to say, Jabbar?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask the ladies, like, I I agree. I totally agree with your points, ladies. Don't get me wrong, but I like playing devil's advocate. What what would you what measures would you take to achieve justice? Like, because in our community, we got the no snitching thing, and I said, just a few minutes ago, people running around. Well, I ain't telling on nobody. I ain't telling on nobody. You're sitting next to a killer. You know the scenario. It's on the news and everything. Does justice, by any means, come into play, or do we continue trying to address those issues with compassion and education? Which one? Which one is more important, justice or compassion?
Alberta, you're muted.
You muted, Albert.
Okay, can you hear
I
me?
thought you was gonna say I was muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Compassion. I truly believe that the teachers give these kids more compassion than they receive at home. But they can't do it by themselves. They're one of the most underpaid professions out here. Yet you still have kids that are going to school to be teachers. They're trying to make a change. But they can't do it by themselves. And some of the kids, I truly believe, they do deserve a second chance. They need someone to talk to explain to them. A lot of them don't know right from wrong. These kids at the age of 2, they can take a phone out of a box and do a video on a phone, but they don't know their
Hmm.
ABCs. You understand? They give them an iPad. Get on your iPad, leave me alone. They on that iPad from what, age 2 until they can put them in pre-K or daycare, CCIS. At what point are you sitting there with your child?
Hmm.
They don't do it anymore. And one thing we had, like I said, we had a village. We were willing to do it together. Nowadays, because of so many kids raising kids, they don't have an outlet. They don't have anybody. And a lot of the parents need hugs. They need help. They need help. I had a woman, a client. She was about 30 some years old, and I called her because I didn't quite understand what she was asking in one of her applications. And she told me, she said, "Thank you so much for calling me." She said, "Because I didn't understand it. I didn't complete school. I have 2 kids." She said, "I can't read and write the way I should." She said, "I'm glad you called to ask me that question." And she explained to me, and we worked it out. But what if I was somebody that just said, "Oh, well, this is what she said, no," and reject her case when I knew clearly this woman needed help?
Hmm.
She was eligible. But I took it upon myself to reach out to her. Not everyone is willing to do that. They're not willing. So where they gonna get it from? We had our aunties and uncles. We had our village, our grandparents. They have so a lot of them have no one, no one. You know, even the ones that's in the system who foster care. I did foster care. I had a child that was they were trying to do what they call reunification with the parents. He didn't want to go back home. He wanted to stay with me. So he lashed out in school to do what he needed
To stay
to
with you.
do to stay in the system because he didn't want to go home. How many kids do you have like that? And to this day, this boy is 23. He still calls me mom. He said I was the best thing I ever had. But I listened to him, but they don't have it. So the kids don't have it. The parents don't have it. Then you have grandparents that are still mentally and, children because they raised themselves. So once again, they go that's 3 generations right there.
Well, thank you for raising that young man.
I think that definitely if we are giving them compassion as they in their younger years, we won't have to give them justice in their older years. So in the younger years, yes, definitely compassion. In the older years, when these kids know better, um, they got to suffer the consequences of their actions. And sometimes it's life, sometimes it's death because they are out in the streets and they are committing violence and they're out there in a violent area or, where violence is happening, they're likely to not survive. I mean, it's terrible. We're losing so many young kids.
Look, I'm retired law enforcement. I was in law enforcement for 30 years, and it's easy when you work in law enforcement to do the black and white thing, right? But fortunately, I'm a black man and understand by having the great parents that I had the plight of the black man throughout this country. So I've understood what justice was, but I also understood the other side of it too. See, me personally, I do not believe in giving somebody a break because their life is hard when they break the law, right? Most importantly is my interpretation of it. If you had a victim, because if it was a victimless crime, and it is, I have other retirees and current guys who will disagree with me, but having marijuana is a victimless crime. If you're smoking, it's victimless. I would give you a break. Not because I wanted you to look at me as this, this good guy and I'm condoning what you're doing. It has nothing to do with that. It's because I was raised by good parents, understanding that we are born not behind the 8 ball, but at least 3 paces behind. That's what I've always understood. Justice only, to me, only pertains to how the victim sees it. Because the state and the country can be victims when it comes to narcotics and different things like that. I don't put myself on the side of justice. What I do is understood that I was a band-aid to bring people comfort when I could bring them comfort, right? But I do that as a man also. I was just I just wanted to just comment a little bit on the question that you asked, Corey, because really and truly that's tricky. Because Damon said it earlier, it depends on what side you was on. You know what I'm saying? Now I have a question, and we'll start with you, Damon. The way, and we're speaking from the violent part of it, the way a child, a boy and girl, turns out violently, is it the mother's or the father's fault that they turn out that way?
First of all, I believe there should be two parents in the home because you need that balance, man. When you put the burden on just on the sisters, man, it's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about most men, the men that we know, we challenge our mothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we think we men. Where's that male there to say, no, you ain't gonna talk to my wife like that, or you ain't gonna talk to your mother like that, or whatever? Where's that man at? You know what I'm saying? That's missing. And when our sons mess up, or daughters for that matter, you know what I'm saying? You don't come to their rescue. Hey man, don't touch my son, or don't put them handcuffs on my son. If they did wrong, they gotta deal with it. I'm one of those guys. Whenever I got if I'm dealing with some young cats in the streets doing whatever, I tell them the truth. Hey man, you ain't cut off for this. You know what I'm saying? I know you. You ain't cut off for this, bro. You gonna find out. And when you find it out and you locked up dealing with it, you gonna be saying, hey, Mr. Armstrong said this. And I've had young cats come back to me and say, man, you said what you said, man, I should have listened. I said, okay, that happened. What you gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? Because some of our kids who get locked up, they don't get locked up forever. Man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Damon. Is that the answer to my question?
I answered your questions. I said you need both parents in the house before you can have that balance, man.
So your answer is yes, the parent is responsible for the violent behavior of the child. It's kind of a loaded question, but
absolutely,
I asked it on purpose.
they responsible for it, man. Because where do because you have them there in your presence. The first thing, the one thing that should be difficult for any parent is to not give up on the child. Now, in some cases, you know what I'm saying, you got to let them go. You know what I'm saying? You got to let them go. In some harsh cases, you got to let them go. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? But if you there and you consistent and you consistently saying the same thing and the right thing over and over again, at some point, you don't think it's going to sink in?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, they might get caught up and get a charge here or there, but they're gonna still keep living if they don't get their life took, right? You know what I'm saying? You do 5 years, you get out. What you gonna do, man? You 27 years old, you did 5 years. What you gonna do with your life, man? You know what I'm saying? Because you can work another 30 years. You know what I'm saying? And retire from the job. And won't be no old man. You still got a life ahead of you. So what are you going to do with yourself? You know what I'm saying? You decide what you're going to do with your life. You decide whether or not you're going to go out there and victimize somebody or you're going to go out there and be, a good citizen. I think most people would choose the latter, man, if they had means and if they believed in themselves.
Okay. Monica.
What's the question again?
When it comes to parenting and just from a mother's point of view, do you feel the violent tendency of your child is the responsibility for the mother if he only has the mother or father or just the parent, period?
In some cases, yes. I would say it would be our responsibility. If we are definitely consistent in raising our child, not letting our child raise themselves, then I think so. There's another side that if a person if the child that you're raising has these violent tendencies when they're younger and they keep growing up and you see the violence that they're committing escalating, that's that's a I think that's a violent tendency that you might not have any control over, because then it has something to do with their mental. Um, if they're if the violence is that's where, from what I think they call it, they're a deviant, and there's nothing you can do. No, when there's no incarceration that's going to make them better. That kind of violence, I don't know how you, as a parent, if we're not equipped, how we could correct that. But I think that consistency, like your brother said, with raising your kids with two parents in the home, that will help. Um, I know that I know some women that are single parents, and they've got extended family. Of course, they're my age, that had extended family that were willing to help. You had uncles over here. They not gonna let that. I'm not I'm not gonna let you be a knucklehead, you know. But that's our generation. This younger generation, they're not equipped with that, or even if they have it, they don't want it. I don't need your help. I don't, or they just don't want your help. They're doing fine by themselves. But if you are doing fine by yourself, but you are raising this child and he's violent, not just violent to other people, these kids can be violent towards their parents.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
so part of it is our responsibility. Some of those you might not be able to help, but you hope you can help them.
Okay. Jaquard.
Well, as Damon said, I don't think it's fair to put it all on a black woman. I mean, it's not. It truly takes it truly takes a village to raise a child. I mean,
That does.
but where as far as accountability, and this is going to be controversial. Controversial. I know I said it before, but I think it's an option. I think people should be licensed to have kids. People should be licensed to have kids. There should be a training regimen before the first baby comes into this world. You know, kids rarely do what we say. They rarely do what we say. They always do what they see.
Hmm.
They
Mhm.
always do what they see.
Mhm.
And our problem is, man, we just doggone normalized it,
Hmm.
normalized dysfunction.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
agree.
and we've got to wash our collective mindset. We got to take how many years did Moses journey through the wilderness? I don't know. I don't know the Bible well, but some of us, we got to walk into the desert, and some of us have got to stay.
Mm.
It's 40
I
years.
mean, 40 years, yeah.
Boy.
Some of us have got to stay in the desert because we don't have anything positive to offer anyone, let alone our children.
You know why it was 40 years, bro?
Why?
For that bad generation to die off before they went into the promised land.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's that's like drastic right there.
That's not drastic. It's biblical, and that's the answer to our issues. I mean, that
You
they're
say that's
biblical.
God.
Yeah, biblical answers. And I'm not what you might classify as a religious person, but at this point, our answers have got to come in a divine form, because things we do, the actions we take, they ain't working.
Alberta.
The question was the mother or the father.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Don't misunderstand the question. It's from your point of view. You
It's
know,
whoever raised the child.
okay.
Sometimes it's not the mother, sometimes it's not the father. Um, I wouldn't say blame either person, but take some type of accountability. Some children, some children they come out and they just can't be helped. Some children come out with certain issues and they just can't be helped. They different mental issues and other things. But as their guardian, you take all measures and all steps to get them the help that they need. If that means institutionalizing them, then so be it. If that means taking them to a counselor or a therapist, so be it. But if you're not willing to do anything, then why continue to have kids and put them on somebody else? So it's not so much it's a mother thing or a father thing. I do believe that you should have a household with both parents. But then again, you have some that were raised with both parents and the grandparents, brought up in the church,
No doubt.
went to the best of the schools, didn't
Mhm.
need or want for anything. And look at them out there now.
Yeah, because it's human nature. But
Yeah.
let me ask you this: why I have you, Alberta? How much? This is a question just directed towards you.
Mm-hmm.
How much does your job affect how you see
Mm,
our community?
mm.
Since 2001.
Ooh.
Now, it's
They
when you
definitely
add
normalize welfare. They what they set out to do to us, it worked. I've had clients that if they had a job, made too much money, and the food stamps closed, they quit their job because they wanted food stamps. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I've had clients to come in and say, I don't have any food for my kids. Well, you working to? I mean, you have income. But in their mind, I don't buy food with cash money. And it's to the point now they want to give you phony pay stubs. They want to go to different places. I mean, they actually normalize welfare. It's a normal thing to them. They have kids, the more kids, and in certain states, Pennsylvania for one, you can have 20 kids, and every time you have one, you get more benefits. Certain states stopped it at, I believe, three, maybe three kids. And guess what? They don't have more than three kids. But Pennsylvania, $2,000 in food stamps, and you coming to me the following month telling me you don't have any food in your house.
2,000 American dollars.
Yeah, some of them get that much in food stamps. Yes,
God damn.
yes,
I
yes.
know here,
Depending on how many kids they have. Yes,
yeah, here in Michigan,
subsidized housing. They
yeah,
pay no rent. $27 in rent. $100 in rent. Then they turn around. They give them a check to pay the gas and electric. Why's your gas and electric off? Because that check they gave me, I did such and such with it. They turn around, give them more money to help them get it on. But then
Okay.
the
Oh,
kids, when they go to school, they looking for a book bag handout because the parents didn't even buy them a book bag or school supplies.
Mm.
now I have another question for you, Alberta, because this is
Hey,
very interesting.
hey, Keith, hold on one second. That's the and YouTube. That's the end of our skit because Alberta got to work Monday. It was all just play acting. We was playing
It
for.
was
That's
all,
all it
yeah, and
was.
we discussed it before we started, and we was gonna let Alberta be the bad guy when it comes
No,
to it.
I'm not
But
the bad guy, but you
but,
know what?
but look. But
But
No,
look,
in my
hold on,
line of work,
hold on. Before you
I'm
go
just
on,
messing with you. I'm
go
just
because
messing
ahead.
with you.
Alberta, you on the roll.
Go
So
ahead.
I need you to answer this question for me.
Go ahead.
All right, now let me put it from this. Uh, as a law enforcement officer,
Mm-hmm.
I have had to understand that I've had to deal with people who make the wrong choices every single day because it's
Mm-hmm.
my job.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Right. So I had to get to the point. I had to get to the point to understand that in my vision, my law enforcement vision, it was only limited to my gauge and my patrol area.
Right. Okay.
It was not the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's limited to my patrol area, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I had to understand, and it really is not really a question, just I want you to comment on this. I had to understand that the percentage that I see is not the percentage of the rest of the county, but where I worked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very small percentage.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right.
Okay,
But they don't put that out there.
got you.
They do not put it out there.
And that in itself is because I used to tell Monica's husband, good
They
friend
do
of mine.
not put it out there. Yeah.
I said to him that what we do, our community does it, and outside our community do it. When they said that neighborhood is a horrible neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I said there is only one street, maybe two, and it's not the whole street, it's a corner you ain't got no business being on. But the whole
Mm-hmm.
is judged by that small percentage.
That corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right.
And then when it comes to the bad people, for lack of a better word, the bad people, they are recycled people. I see them over and
And
over and
over.
over again. The majority of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's some new, right? But the majority of them, they are recycled. So I could not base my opinion of that particular community off those recycled people that I saw.
That's what, mhm.
You feel
You're
me?
absolutely right. I do.
Mm.
So
Oh,
Jaquari,
Go ahead.
Damon, and Monica, I want to ask you the same question. What you've experienced and what you do for a living, has it affected the way that you see our community? And we'll start with you, Damon.
Have it affected how? Say it again.
Has it affected how you see our community? What you experience and what you do for a living, I'm talking about.
It haven't affected me. I mean, what I've seen in our community, man, I saw my whole life, so I know how to navigate it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know how to navigate it, but you know, is it bad? Yeah, it's bad, but is it so bad to the point where you're hopeless? You know what I'm saying? Then that requires you to check yourself. You know, and if you're part of that side where that's trying to uplift your people and make try to make changes, then you make your voice louder, man. Because what do they look at? They look at the pimps, they look at the players, they look at all these cats out there that's flashing and saying, "Hey, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do because they getting money." You know, they don't realize that money is just a tool that you use, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing that you worship. You know, it's not God. You know, and for me, it's about it's about having hope or being hopeless, man. And when it come to our youngest, man, I can't be hopeless in that regard, man. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I have to say, when I see it, I have to speak on it. Hey, man, that ain't really you, bro. You know, and you're gonna find out soon enough. You know, everybody can't be a pimp. But why are we growing? Why are we glorifying pimps? They ain't nothing but parasites any damn way. You know what I'm saying? I have no respect for them. Period.
Uh, no doubt. Monica,
Um, my job is a little different. I don't think um how I see my community has been affected by my job. Um, I know
no, no,
that.
hold on. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Listen to the question. It's
Okay,
how you view our community.
how I view
You see what I'm saying? It's not what how your job affects the community because we look at Alberta. She has a view.
my view.
I have a view, and Damon has a view, and I'm sure Jaquari, but yourself. This is how you see it. Where you go to every day,
Yes.
then you come home, and just from your life experience, how you view your community.
I from from my viewpoint, um, I think that I do see things different. I do see things a little different. And I think also being married to law enforcement, I have a different perspective because I hear a lot of conversations that you have had, Armstrong, with my husband, and so sometimes I'm not law enforcement, but being so connected with him, I do look at things a little different.
Okay.
I hope I'm answering this question. It was
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you are, but my thing is your personality where I'm not going to tell you what I'm trying to get at, but if you're comfortable with it, that's fine. It's because it's designed just to for you can hear yourself answer what you hear, what you're saying. That's all. Jaquari.
Yeah. Well, my job is definitely affecting my worldview, man. Y'all know who I was and can still sometimes be, and it's connected to like the question I asked the ladies about compassion and justice. Before I started this job working with juvenile offenders, I was more aligned with my sense of justice, however skewed it may have been. But I understand now that justice has many faces, and those faces wear many hats.
mm,
And I have the opportunity to affect these young people on the grassroots level. If I'm not only doing my job right, but if I'm being right as a man.
mhm.
You know what I mean? They need to see those examples. I mean, I've had these same young men, their parents. I've had those parents call me a sellout.
Mm.
I've had those parents tell me like I was like, well, you ain't nothing but an overseer. I'm like, wow. One father, he had been locked up for several years, and I went out of my way. I went out of my way. I always gone above and beyond, but I went out of my way and I worked very, very hard to get him visitation rights to our facility. Well, I helped, right? And he pulled me to the side and he gave me a dressing down about, how as a black man I shouldn't even be working in this job. I shouldn't even be. Selling my people out. You know, my response, I didn't get mad. I didn't get loud or anything, but I did ask him. I said, "Sir, have you ever seen your son cry?" He said, "No, my son ain't never cried around me." And I'm like, "Well, he does. He cries around me,
Mm.
not because I hurt him.
Mhm.
I didn't cause him pain. I let him release his pain, and that's how you change it. That's how you change the community. That's how you change the community. That's how you change the fucking world. You got to listen, man. You got to listen with the,
Absolutely.
with an honest ear. I can tell a young man that he fucking up without raising my voice, and I can give him reasons why. I can give him reasons, specific reasons why he shouldn't go down certain roads. You know. So yeah, it's definitely changed the person I was.
Can I say something too?
Yes, ma'am.
Um, to piggyback off of what you were just saying, I thought about at some point working that job. It was a time when, and I really didn't even think that I was doing it, but I think I was discriminating against men coming in applying for benefits.
I
And it
wanted
took,
to ask you. Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
it took for men, it took for men to ask me, what's wrong? Am I just mad at men? Am I bitter? And I
Mm.
never forget this one man asked me that. I said, no, but I have an issue with single black men, able bodied, coming in here getting applying for benefits. But I couldn't do that. It
I
at
mean,
some
were
point,
they black men, Alberta?
yes,
Okay,
single black men.
okay.
Some of them were getting back on their feet, um, but the ones that were just doing it just to do it, and it took it. I had a coworker come to me, and he pulled me to the side, and he said, "You know what? I have never seen." And he's been working there long. He's actually retired now, but he told me, he said, "I have never seen so many black men cry." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I've never seen a worker make black men cry." And when he told me that, I said, "You know what? I have to change. Maybe it's the way I'm approaching them or what I'm saying." I wasn't trying to belittle them or make them feel like they weren't worth anything, but it bothered me when it's a way we can find out, certain addresses and stuff. When I see you're over here and your family is over here, and it's like, what are you doing? She's working with the 3 kids and this and that, and you just coming here and fresh haircut and sharp, and I that bothered me. It really, really did. I had to really sit back and I had to talk to myself about it. And I said, that's not your place. Who are you to judge? I really had to turn around and just do my job, A, B, and C. Because at some point I was really starting to judge a lot of them, and it got under my skin because I would see the women coming in there with the kids and trying to keep them together and do this and go to programs and try to get child care, and they crying, the baby's crying, and it that bothered me. It really did. It really, really did. I had to really look at myself. Like, is this my job?
And
This,
you know what it is, and I feel that. But you see, you and I interquarry in a lot of ways have to deal with that.
hmm
But the extra thing is what's been pumped on you
hmm
from society. Not blaming society when I say
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I'm saying to you is the majority of people on welfare. You could tell me it's white people. Am I wrong?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I'm sorry, allegedly, right? But if they're the majority, this is me speaking. If they're the majority, then that's what's going on. And of course, they're proud too. But if it's talking about feeding their family, and you do anything that you can to take care of your family, you go do what you have to do as a man and as a woman. Period.
But they come in. Some of them come in a little more humble
I get it.
than the way our
I
people.
get it.
Our
I get
people
it.
come as if we owe them something. The state owed
It's,
them.
it's, it's a,
The
but let me.
other ones, they're coming for help. There's a difference.
But see, but look, it's the way that we see it though, Alberta, because and this is not you,
Right.
and it's not. I'm not saying this. I'm not disputing you because, like I said, I can relate to this because the bottom line is how I see it, and how I see it is I'm doing a job to help people, not to judge people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the funny thing, me and your husband, Monica, we had I surprised him,
Yes.
and we were just talking about. I told him in my career, when it came to arresting white and black people, right? It surprised him when I told him that the arrest that I made was 45 to 55 percentage wise, and he was shocked. Because not, and this is not condemning him, but the majority of the arrests that he's made has been what? Off of assumption. Black people. And I said to him, that's because of the actual area that you work. It had nothing to do with these men or women are the only ones breaking law. But what is pumped into our, and I'm not going to get on the soapbox, but what is pumped into our system? What do we see every day? That, oh, statistically, black people are the ones breaking the law. But if you say that we're 13% of the total population of the country, you telling me that every black man and woman has broken the law each and every single day for us to even be at the top of that list. And me, I find that very preposterous. That's garbage. Because I deal in logic more than anything. You feel what I'm saying? Logic is what I deal with and what I see and what I know. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but we judge ourselves. That's what's disappointing to me. We judge ourselves by the opinion of other communities. It's not our opinion. And you know, black people are the most conservative community on this planet. But we're treated like we just out here wilding out all the time, and we're not. We're not. Hell, the people on this screen right now go to work every day. So that's fighting against the stereotype that's being beat down on us constantly. I understand, Jaquari and Alberta, your job is a motherfucker. Excuse my language. To deal with that because you deal with trauma every day. It is a constant diet. Being law enforcement and being black, that's trauma. But most people don't see it that way. You know why? Because even though we're conservative, we believe in being macho or our women strong. We got to persevere. We don't show weakness. But we allow our community, because we echo what's being said, we allow our community to look at ourselves as somebody else's description. That's just my opinion. You know, so the last couple questions is directed at not trying to make a point, but to really get you guys' perspective on how you see things. You know what I'm saying? It's because really and truly. Well, let me ask this question, and I'm gonna direct this to you for you guys. And we're winding down, guys, but just to let you know, when it comes to when it comes to violence in our community, do we spend most of our time pointing fingers at who fault it is? Jaquar, we'll start with you.
Yeah, we do, but
Mm-hmm.
isn't that a natural reaction?
Okay. It's a natural reaction. You said, yeah, we do. Can you expound a little bit on why you said, yes, we do?
Wrong is wrong. I mean,
Right is right.
as I said a few minutes ago, I've kind of massaged myself into dissecting circumstances, but I don't always have time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've become adept at sitting in rooms with kids who I absolutely fucking detest. But as
Mm-hmm.
Damon said earlier, they're going home. They're going
Gotcha.
home. So if they don't learn an iota of the things that I believe I have to teach them, then I've let society down. I'm trying, people, myself and Miss Alberta, people in the human industry. I believe we're trying to create and build good neighbors because these people are, these people. I sound like a Republican. I'm sorry, but they're coming unless they got bodies. They're coming home. And if we don't do anything to affect change in them while we have them, the changes that need to be made, that should be made at home, if we don't help them make those changes, they're going to escalate when they go back home. It's a scientific fact. It
Gotcha.
happens. I mean, that's why the word recidivism was created.
Mm.
I get it. I get it. Alberta,
Mm-hmm. What's the question again?
do you think that we spend time
Oh,
pointing
pointing
fingers?
fingers. Yes, I do. That's what we're taught to do.
Okay.
Right, wrong, and different. We're taught, if it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. We were taught right from wrong. We know when someone is mistreating someone. You're lying. You're not telling the truth. We were taught that. So yes, if you did it, we're gonna point the finger. Yes, you did it. We're not taught to.
Well,
Um,
what about in problem solving? Do we spend too much time pointing fingers?
at this point, yes, we do, because I think we're frustrated. We're up here at this level, and we have to point the fingers now because it's almost as if it's nothing we can do. Almost, it has gotten so bad. It's nothing more to do except point the fingers. I feel like society is lost right now with our kids.
Gotcha.
I really do. They weren't given what they needed at home and even in school. You know how many adults don't even to tell you have an adult to for me to tell an adult with children, I need your signature. And they ask me,
Oh
what is
yeah.
that? And they ask me, what is that? They don't know how to write in curve. They don't have a signature. They took that out of school. They purposely did that to us to bring us down. It's almost like I said once before, I truly believe all of this was a setup. Why would you take handwriting out of school? Why would you take counselors out of school? Why would you take music out of school? Our kids, the parents not taking them to swim lessons or piano lessons, or they learned that in school. They took it out of school. So they took everything and all the outlets that some of these kids needed. So what are they going to do now? They're being abused and hurt at home. They don't want to go home, half of them. So they go to school. Once they out of school, it's nothing for them to do. So yeah, we at this point, yes, we are pointing fingers, and it's sad. I
Uh,
mean, but my thing is, if I can help one or two, that's okay. But when you're looking at the numbers, that's not a dent in what's going on.
so
It's
I'm
not a
assuming,
dent.
Damon, you next, but sister-in-law, I'm assuming that you're chiming in as far as pointing fingers wise, and I agree if that's what it is. You know, less judgment and more grace. You know, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Damon, it's on you, bro.
As far as pointing fingers, man, you know what? We care about our community, so we take the time and pass judgment, man. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't care about our community, we wouldn't even speak on it. We just let it, things be the way they are. But the thing that keeps coming to mind with me about this whole situation is that, you know what I'm saying? If we start believing the hype, man, then it is a hopeless situation. You understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If we believe the hype, if we believe that we are that bad, then that's what it's going to be. Because you got to look at all the things that's coming at us. We got social media. We got news, medias and stuff like that telling us just how bad we are. But what the deal is that if you look at it in a logical way, population wise, hell, they do more crime than we do. That's just fact. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And what else is fact is it is
Yeah.
more than them on welfare. I mean, you live in Philly, right? So in
yeah,
that population, in that area, is going to be more black people. But if I would go to one of those places, right, and I go in there, guess what it's going to be? It's going to be more white people there. You know. So it all depends on what area that you're living in, but population-wise, it is more than them on there. You know what I'm saying? With us, it's demonized, but with them, uh, uh, it's a leg up. It's temporary. Right here in Michigan, you can only be on there for 2 years.
there you go.
So,
Jersey, I
you
think 3 to 5 years, I believe.
yeah. So you have to get your thing together. But my message is, yes, we all see things. You know what I'm saying? If you live in a bad neighborhood, that's what you're going to see. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're going to see. But it's crime and all that stuff happening everywhere.
It is.
It's happening everywhere. It's just so happened that they want to make African Americans the poster child of it. And you're constantly bombarded with it. So you come to believe that that's the case, but that's not. Out of all the black men I know, maybe one or two ain't taking care of their kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's as far as back as I can remember.
Right.
Might
Your age.
might not be with the mother, but they still taking care of their kids. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when you move out of that matrix and you able to see what's really happening, we're not as bad off as society as what's being shown to us is. We bad enough to care. That's why there's a lot of emotion and stuff going on right now, as we speak on it. But I can't allow myself to fall back into the position where I'm gonna feel hopeless about the whole thing because I got a grandbaby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't be hopeless about the world. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do whatever I can to keep my family safe, whatever it takes. But I'm also gonna be an example for those people who don't have that structure in their homes. You know what I'm saying? Because where talking to somebody, they're gonna find an argument with you all the time. But if you leading by example and you doing those things, that's what they're gonna follow, and that's what their kids who really want to make it. That's who they're gonna gravitate to. You know, I used to work with kids too, and I was working with this one family. Out of 5 kids, 3 of them went bad. 2 of them did great. Went to college, got master degrees, and all that stuff. So in all that hopelessness, there is life. There is opportunity. You know, but you got to lead by example. And when them kids come to you and say, "Hey, Mr. Armstrong, can you help me with something?" I got to be willing to say, "All right, here's the path to follow." You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be given to you. You got to make an effort to make it for yourself. You got to make sure, you got to see that you're worth it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Monica.
Question again.
And you looking at it like you really paying attention too. Boy.
This is hard. It's
No,
hard.
you like this.
Hey,
Yeah.
before you answer,
Stop
can
this mess.
hey guys, I got to cut it short, man.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna say my goodbyes right now. You know, I really appreciate being on here with y'all. You know, and
I had to charge my phone.
Well,
All right,
know,
man.
it's all
Appreciate you.
good.
It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too. You too. You guys have a wonderful evening, and
You
until the
too.
next time.
hey, brother, you know you owe us.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. All right, love you guys.
All right, bro.
Be safe, man.
Love you. What is it? Is it pointing fingers? Is that was that?
Yeah, the
just-
pointing fingers.
Yeah.
No, she already answered that.
You
I
did
think she was
answer that.
first. I think she was first. Yeah.
Yeah.
About pointing fingers, yeah, she already answered that.
What was the last thing you? Okay.
I think
Well, look.
Alberta was the last to go on that question.
Okay. So, listen. This is why I'm gonna give y'all one more question. Then I'm gonna let you guys go. And
Okay.
really and truly, just to bring it home.
Mm-hmm.
Just name 1 or 2 things that you can think offhand that will help with the violence in the community. And we'll start with you, Monica.
1 or 2 things.
I'm gonna run and get my charger.
This one, okay.
All right.
Just one, if
Maybe I don't know. Maybe more community involvement.
Okay.
I think I could probably say that if there were more people in the community being involved, maybe around some of these children, like the village, if we could raise all kids with the village, I think we would have a chance. I think we would have a chance. Um, and just like one of the things that my parents always instilled in us, and I think I did it for our kids, is that an idle mind is the devil's playground. So for us and our children, we made sure that our children were always active in something, be it sports, be it anything that they were interested in, so that they didn't have time to mess around. They didn't have time to be doing things that they shouldn't be. Um, I understand that that is probably hard to do in single parent households, but even with me and my husband, we wanted to make sure that nobody was sitting around and trying to do things that they shouldn't be. They might think about it, but they were so busy doing other things, they didn't have time to do it.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Alberta, you remember the question?
Is I speak to people. I speak. I don't have to know them. I'll tell them good morning, hello, how are you. I don't have a problem telling someone they look nice, or a woman, or you look sharp, your hair is nice. We don't do that anymore. The kids, I will speak to them. I'll ask, how was your day? How was your day at school? What did you learn? Let me see your report card. They don't. Half of them don't get that in school. But I'll ask the kids around here, and I really think that's why I get so much respect from them. That's one thing I can say, knock on wood. I really do get respect from the kids around here. I can, um, like I said yesterday, I can approach them. I can say something, what's right, what's wrong. They'll come to me. Such and such hit me, and this and that. We'll talk. We'll talk it out. Okay, when it's over and done, we apologize, shake hands, and hug. They don't get that at home. The first thing the parents say, they hit you, what they say. You better hit them back. And that's when, but
Mm-hmm.
I really think that, and I was like that with my kids. And I've just continued to do it with my nieces and nephews and with the kids around here. People walk around, and like I said, from where I live at, it's a halfway house around the corner. Um, the guys, they may come through. Some of them may be high, some of them just may be down on their luck because it's mainly men around there. And when I see them, I will speak to them, and a lot of them they take, it's like they're taking it back. Like, oh, good morning, hello, how are you, and leave it at that. Sometimes that goes a long way. It does. It goes a
Mm-hmm.
long way, and I do that because I have a son. And I can't, and I tell my kids this all the time. I don't want to walk around and always be afraid and watch my back from my brothers, from my nephews, and my sons and my boys. Not all of us are bad. Not all of us. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't an angel coming up. I was not an angel. I did my stuff, but I was just, I was lucky. God was on my side with some things. I wasn't out there, shooting and killing and stuff. But I've been in, situations with people and things I shouldn't have been doing. So I never think that I'm better. I was always told that, oh, you think you're better. I don't think I'm better at all. And I remember telling someone that told me that years ago, my kids were little. I said, the only thing I may have that you know is maybe an extra bill, and that's a car note. That's it. We all live in these row homes, going to work and this and that. I remember kids going to school, and I was leaving out to work, and I heard someone say, "Oh, look at the Huxtables." Only because the kids said, "All right, mom, love you. All right, dad, love." You." He's going to work. I'm going to work, and they walking to school holding hands. Like I told them, this is your sister. You're 4 years apart. You hold her hands. You walk to school. So we were called the Huxtables because we said, "Oh, I love you, I love you, I love." They don't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore. All they get is a cuss word first thing in the morning. Get your like so and so up. Get ready for school and this. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
there it will go a long way, and it has really helped me. It with a lot of the I'm not just gonna say the young ones. Clients and everything. You know, and I had to tell some clients before I have to leave my problems at the door. Do you want to call me back before? Oh, I'll get right down with them with the attitude. Okay, well, I'm gonna talk to you the way you talking to me. You want to see that side of me? But it took a lot for me to humble myself and to get older. And now, girl, you laughing because you know I really had to be there with them. And now it's like, you want to call me back? I'm gonna give you a minute. When we were in the office, it's different now because I'm working from home. But in the office, baby, oh yeah. You know how many times coming out of earrings and sneakers and it's like you can't lose your job over this, but you at some point you had to stand in their lane with them and let them know, And now it's like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them just needed to speak and hug and what's going on. They may have problems. I had
Mhm.
problems, and I told him, I'm human too. I'm human too. I fell on bad times, but I can't cuss out somebody, especially if they working at a place that's going to help me. I'm not going to go in there and cuss them out. I know it ain't their money, but I'm not going to go in there to cuss them out. I'm going to sit there and listen and try to get any help and resources that I can get.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, that came with age. But when I was younger, no. But yeah, so and I've learned, and that helps a lot. Sometimes it even helps me. I can be walking around with a frown on my face, and somebody say, "Good morning," and I'm like, "Oh, good morning. How you doing?" And it's like, wow. Sometimes you really need that. That means a lot. That says a lot. I know it's helped me.
Okay. Jaquari.
Well, number one, I think as a community, we need to start addressing our kids, man, in the places that they are. We've all mentioned social media, and you can go on social media and see videos of sister girls in the hood punching each other in the face, and it
Mhm.
entertain it entertains everybody, but what purpose does it serve? So we got to create
Mhm.
countermeasures to those negative images rather. It's not realistic for me to say that we could totally eradicate those images from the internet or whatever, but we can put things with positive value on on, on the net or whatever to give our kids other options. Now, number two,
Mhm.
I think our young black men, we've got to teach them to be humble and express themselves at the same time. I mean, they all want to be heard. They all have points to make, valid points. I mean, these. I mean, we're not talking about in the majority of cases, we're not talking about young men of low intelligence. They're very very highly intelligent young men. They just don't apply it in the right ways. They don't use their powers for good. Because as Keith said earlier, it's just easier, to do wrong. So yeah, we've got to encourage them to be seen in a positive light, you know, and not just to be seen, you know, uh, be seen and for having some kind of positive motion. As far as the black women go, and I know my opinion is going to differ from a lot of people I know, but we've got to help to try to position them to be in a place where they can achieve their goals, because that's where all the angst comes from.
Mhm.
I've said it before. I mean, and this is just it's just a general thought or whatever, but our mothers and our grandmothers, they were raised in a certain way, and in my heart of hearts, I believe that even though it was beneficial for the black men and the black kids, black women hated it.
You said
They,
black
I
women
mean,
did what?
our grandmothers and our
Mm-hmm.
mothers were raised in a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
but they hated it.
Yeah. I agree.
I think they
I
hated
agree.
it. They
I
did it. They did it out of obligation and
Yep.
love and
Yep.
duty. But
Mhm. Mhm.
I feel like when I have those conversations with older black women, I feel like they believe that they were stifled and put into a box. They didn't teach that to their daughters. They taught their daughters to go out and grab the world by the throat and conquer it,
Yeah.
which is their right, which is their right as a human being. It it's always been, one-sided in regards to relationships. A black man can go out and, have this family and have a whole nother family across town, but the black woman is anchored to the home. That's not how it is nowadays. Hadn't been like that for the last 2 decades. Black women have been coming out and taking their natural position in the forefront of certain fields or whatever. It's us who have the problem because we're refusing to change in some sense. Every black man wants to marry a mother. Every black man wants to marry a woman exactly like his mother. Okay, yeah, that's cute and fanciful, but brother, you gotta grow up. You gotta grow up. Your mama is your daddy's wife. She did and does certain things, to make their household go smoothly. You have to put in the work with the person who you choose to make your mate, to make your house go smoothly. The things that your parents went through to do that might not necessarily work in your house. You got to be savvy enough to navigate that. So, in regards to black women and growth, it's not them, being how do they describe y'all again? Pussy or loud or anything like that. It's them. It's them. Taking their position and securing it. That's just nature, male or female. When you have the ability to go into a situation and be successful, I think you're owed that respect and that acknowledgement. So that's my answer.
All right. Since Damon is not here, I'll take his place, and I'm going to be short with it. What we end up doing, Jaquari, you said it earlier, is how they describe us, right? What I've seen in the last 10 years or so is the black man and the black woman having an adversarial relationship. And it's easy to make a decision to be an adversary where, when you have someone describe, when they say the black woman is the backbone of the black community, right? I switch it up and I say the black man is the backbone of the community, but the black woman is the structure that keeps that backbone moving. They work hand in hand. And I'm asking the three of you, how many times have you ever heard in these recent years that black women and black men, I'm talking about on social media mostly, are working hand in hand?
Mm-hmm.
Every description has been a separate description.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been pumped into our system ever since I was a little boy. Where when a lie is repeated enough, it becomes true to the people who hear it. Not the people in the beginning when they know it's a lie, but the people down the line. In your situation, Alberta, and what you do for a living, the welfare system was created for white people. And they did not include black people. They were not allowed to be in the welfare system. The rules came. The rules came when they started to do what? Include black families into it.
And what's the number one thing?
The father cannot be in the house.
Yep.
The father
could not and they made visits to make sure if they saw a pair of shoes in a closet,
Exactly.
they will cut the
That
case off.
that was and the reason why I brought it up because that lie was repeated so much
Yep.
because we said it earlier that the majority of people receiving allegedly benefits is white people. And this is not bashing white people. It is the truth in what we are speaking. We do not get fed a healthy diet of truth in our community. We don't. We only, even if we see something, we won't believe it until what? Somebody else says it.
Yep.
And that's my answer to it, is to have the ability to be able to dissect it until we as a community reach the truth in it and add mutual cooperation with each other. Because this is my opinion, we see ourselves as frenemies.
Yeah.
We see ourselves as frenemies. I'm in my subdivision, and I've been here since 1998. And I've lived around at least 5 or 6 families that's been here since 1998. And we kept a relationship. But there's some families I still have not spoken a word to. And they're black.
Yep.
Do I take it personal? No. I brought it up as a point. And the point is, we are always defining ourselves by somebody else's opinion.
Yep.
This is why, in my opinion, every 4 years we get on that damn political merry-go-round, Democrats and Republicans. And we are not accepted in either party.
Exactly.
But we're used to get the popular vote. But I'm not going to the political realm. But that's my opinion about it. Now, we're going to bring this episode to a close. And I want to thank you, Alberta, and you, Monica. And as always, Damon and Jaquari, you've been a pleasure for joining Strong Perspective Podcast. What I need you to do, folks, when you see this now and see it in the future, go to our YouTube channel. And Alberta, Monica, tell your people. Give us 30 seconds at a time. Go to YouTube. Click on that button. They're welcome to watch the videos. I know they're gonna watch you guys, but they're welcome to watch. They're welcome to watch the other videos, but they don't have to. But we would love the subscribing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Before we get out of here, ladies, do you have anything you have to say? Any impressions or anything like that before we go?
Nope. You just have to stay prayed up and take it one day at a time.
Okay. Monica?
Yes. Pray for our youth.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely need it. And I think that one day at a time, like Alberta said.
Okay. Jaquari, any last words, brother?
Yeah, ladies, I have enjoyed our conversation immensely. And as you know, Monica, you're always welcome back. If you have any ideas, please,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because it would be crazy doing a Strong Perspective podcast show from a woman's perspective. This is Alberta.
Nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting. It's nice
You
meeting you.
too. You too.
And I, like I told Monica, like I tell every guest, you're automatically once you've been on once, you're automatically recurring. So as I said to Monica, please feel free if you have any ideas you like for us to explore on the podcast. Like keep note.
I actually do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And the next time I see you, I'm gonna call you Albert.
Wait. Do I have that Philly accent like your brother said?
Yeah.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't think we have an
You
accent.
do.
Okay.
Well, you probably
I
don't. where
mean,
you
I
live.
guess because I've lived it, yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
I got
Hey,
an accent. It's like a Midwestern accent. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Just like him, yeah.
Hey, ladies, stay on once we get off live, just for a couple minutes. And
Okay.
this is Strong Perspective
Okay.
Podcast. We'll be back next Friday. Thank you for tuning in. We out.